Super excited to have our first meeting back in person with Greg speaking. So, Greg.
Hey, my name's Greg. I'm an alcoholic. Hey, everybody. Hey, Zoom people. How you doing? Hope everybody's doing okay. I'd like to thank Devin for asking me, although I do get the feeling that I'm like plan C. Just saying. Maybe that could be my head running, but that could really matters, you know. Because here I are. And it is super cool to have this meeting back up, you know, hybrid, because there's a meeting Saturday night, the Carry This Message meeting's been going about 3 months. And it's been same format, same everything. It's been working really well. So, you know, just distance and wear a mask and keep your hands clean and, you know, all that other good stuff, which is basically following directions. So, yeah, I'm supposed to share my experience, strength, and hope with you. It's an honor and a privilege to speak at an AA meeting. You know, that's what I'm taught. I wear a suit and tie, wear a coat and tie, because I was taught when I came in that you show respect for the program that's sharing, that's saving your life. That's why I do this. And so there it is. And but yeah, so I got sober. My sobriety date is January 10th, 1989. So I've been doing this for a minute. And you know, today, for example, has been a really great day. I got to go down to Scottsdale and ride my motorcycle down there and turn it in and pick up a brand new one, brand new Harley Davidson. Now, I don't know about, you know, anybody, you all don't ride motorcycles, that's okay, but some of you Zoomers might, and it's like, man, riding home on a brand new Harley. I mean, I'm going to be 60 years old, and the last time I was on a brand new Harley, I was 45. So, you know, I was thinking about that when I was rolling down there. Well, I owned that motorcycle for over 20% of my life. It was like kind of scary. I'm going, wow. And I was sober the whole time. I mean, my God, some of the memories I've had, you know, the good times. Oh my God, riding around Yellowstone, you know, on my motorcycle and looking at a buffalo, like from me to like Tiffany, just going, oh, please don't get an attitude, you know, stuff like that. You know, and the point is when I came into these rooms, I really firmly said to myself, I said, self, I'm not going to ever have fun again. And I really meant that. I go, fun is over as you know it, but I don't want to die in a gutter, you know, and I think I better do what I need to do here, but I'll never have fun again because I equated drinking and taking drugs. That was fun. And it was, you know, I'm not going to lie. I don't know. Some people I know that come in and go, oh my God, you know, the first drink I ever took, I was just miserable from the gate, you know, until I made it into these rooms and so forth. And that's not my story. I had some good times, man. I get loaded, as loaded as I could get. But, you know, obviously things weren't working so swimmingly. That's why I'm here. You know, I didn't get here on a winning streak, you know. You know, one of the things that's been going on since, you know, the whole virus and things like that nature, when this thing began and all the meetings started to shut down and all that stuff, I mean, nobody had ever gone through this stuff. But one of our friends, John E., he said at a meeting at that time, I want to say it was the beginning of February or something, and he said something that stuck with me. And he said, I've got a much greater chance of dying of my alcoholism than I do of any virus. I don't know about you, but that's me. I got a much better chance of dying of my alcoholism than I do of any virus out there. Flu, COVID, I don't. So, you know, I do the meetings as indicated. I do a lot of Zoom meetings too. You know, I really do. We were talking earlier, some people don't like it, and I get that. My sponsor just keeps, it's not going to happen. We do phone-in meetings for him. And, but there was a meeting that I did once a Friday night meeting that's, and a bunch of people logged on because one of our friends had passed on. And I tell you what, even though it was online, I could feel the love coming through that screen, man. I really could. It was a very memorable meeting. It was like, wow, I could really feel that. And everybody coming together as if it was Old Home Week or something, some people I hadn't seen logging on for many years. So that was very cool. So again, I'm supposed to tell you what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. And I was born and raised in California. I really don't want to spend a bunch of time on that. I just, suffice to say that in 1988, my world fell apart, and I knew it. Okay, I'll back up even further. I got a brother that got sober in 82, and we were living in Southern California, and he was going to move. He had enough of everybody and everything. I could take his inventory, why not? He'd had enough of everybody and everything, and he was going to move. I'm moving to Oklahoma. And that's what he got as far as like Fontana, which is like 60 miles. That was it, man. And I guess it's just, holed up in a hotel room. And they took him and got him into a rehab. And at that time, rehabilitation treatment facilities were in hospitals. Many of them, at least where I was. He went to Glendale Memorial, the Alpha unit, which is long gone. And I remember my father was a physician, and he said, your brother, we found your brother. He was in a hotel room found him with a bunch of bottles of vodka, so forth and so on. And he said, so he's in a treatment, he's at Glendale Memorial Hospital. He's being treated. I go, for what? And he goes, your brother's an alcoholic. And I remember this clearly. I go, oh, I thought he was just crazy. Little did I know, I remember clearly saying that. I just thought he was crazy, because at that time, I could have come in at 82. I tell you that right now, but he was the alcoholic. See, I could control and enjoy my drinking. Thank you very much. Chapter 3. We already read that tonight. Plus, my dad was telling me at one point. He said, "Your brother's an alcoholic, and you drink a lot, but you're not an alcoholic." My dad was a doctor. That was the doctor's opinion. Thank you very much. So I just kept drinking for another 7 years until my ass fell off too. So I would come to these meetings to support Chris. How good of me. And listen to these people. I remember I kind of remember just showing up, I think when he was going to get like a 9-month chip or his first year or something like that. And I remember being in a meeting, something like this, with a lot of people. It was actually quite a big meeting. And, I heard the people talking, like some knucklehead, talking to a group in a speaker meeting, much like this knucklehead is talking to you right now. And I was listening to the guy just going, the way he was talking about where alcohol had taken him, the depths of despair and all these different things. And I was just going, wow, that happened to me. I mean, I was seeing the similarities without even knowing I should have been seeing the similarities. It's like, these people are speaking, I get this. I think I know why Chris did this. He was really sick. So, I was like, well, I don't know if I'm that guy, but I know he is. But maybe there was like that lurking notion, you know what I mean? Where it was like, you're that guy, but I just went, we don't want to listen to that. But I could hear all that. These people drank like I did, and they got better. They weren't drinking, they weren't taking drugs, and they were okay. And what is that all about? I don't get it, And then at the end of the meeting, I was rather taken by it in a positive light. I'm just going, that's great. And then they come up with the Lord's Prayer at the end. I go, oh, so that's what it is. It's the God hook. Yeah, well, I don't want any part of that, And that kept me out of the rooms for about 7 years. I came to these meetings on a regular basis because of this little pesky thing called DUIs, and having to get my court sheets signed and turning it into the court every Friday. They'd bounce me back to jail. So I just, if anybody has any contempt for AA, or any of you folks have any contempt for AA out there, I get it. Okay, that was me too. It was like, you know what? Just sign my card, my court sheet. I got some drinking I need to do. You know, I got 2 words for y'all, and it ain't there. It's not happy birthday. It's not the 2 words I had in mind. So, but you know what? This is the nature of this disease is such that it gets progressively worse, never better, as it says in the print. And my disease did just that. And by the time 1988 rolled around, I was going to school, but drinking, school gets in the way of my drinking. So I would withdraw. School, you know, I had a girlfriend, but she was between her and the drinking list. You know, we know where that's going. And so she's one of the first people that I told her name was Susan. And I said, Susan, this is like in probably October. Yeah, about this time in fall of '88. And the jig was up, it was coming. And I really subconsciously, I think I knew it. Susan and we sat down, I think we were living together. Yeah. And I said, I just want to let you know that, okay, I party. And she's like, yeah, I know, because, you know, you party. I go, no, I got to tell you, I party a lot. And she's just like, well, yeah, I know that. And I go, you know what? No, I'm an alcoholic. She was the first person I ever said that to. And then I proceeded to prove it to her. You know, I didn't have any intention of stopping, for God's sake. I just told her. But looking back on it, hindsight's always 20/20. Somehow subconsciously, I knew the jig was up. I'd been coming to these meetings for a number of years, seeing my brother, passing it, you know, nobody ever kicked me out of the meetings, you know, and I was either coming up or down off of something when I come into these meetings. And even as much as I may have hated AA, did not want to be here, there was still that part of me, again, subconsciously, you guys were doing something about the malady, you know, about this allergy, about this disease of, you know, mind power disease. And you were doing well, and I think I really wanted that. So by the time of fall of '88 came around, I'm telling on myself, you know, almost like a little 5th step. But that wasn't quite enough yet. So it was like, you know, I would drink a lot, like in the mornings and things like that. And I passed out at work, and they don't like that. Just thought, yeah, just like, you know, and so I lost my job. And then what did I do? I mean, you know, what did I do? Went out and got a DUI. There you go. That same night. You know, and then I got kicked loose from jail that following morning. Again, it was December 6th, I think it was, of '88. And I remember saying, okay, this was going to be my the third one that I actually got caught. And I'm going, wow, here you are, man. You know, I had enough AA to know this is getting worse. This is not getting better. You are burning every bridge that matters in your life. This is terrible. Oh my God. And that even back then they're going, it was like 180 days in jail and stuff like that. It was like, wow, this is just, you know, and the thing is, I mean, despite all that, the best I could do that morning was find a liquor store. I swear that's the best I could do. That now, if that's not sick, I don't know what is. My life's falling apart. I need a drink. And I did need a drink. You know, my brother finds me passed out on the lawn of the sheriff's department. It's just, you know, getting tight at exactly the wrong time and the wrong place in this, you know, instance. And then suddenly my father died. Girlfriend ran away. Nobody wanted anything to do with me. I was very close to the streets, and I knew it. And I saw it coming. I'm just like, wow. And then you know, by the time I was sentenced for my last DUI, the last one, knock on wood, as far as Greg is concerned, I knew the jig was up. I was trying to find a number of different treatment facilities. I was on the list to get in there. I guess my point is about this thing at this time is that I was somehow or another, I was really clear on the first step. Without even knowing I was clear on the first step, I was clear on the first step going, I know I'm powerless over alcohol because there was no question. My life was just doing one of these. It was not like a nosedive, but it was definitely going downhill. Slowly but surely, my life was getting worse and worse and worse. And then when like my father suddenly died, he was my hero, man, you know, and that just shattered me, you know. And then the girlfriend, like I said, she runs away, and I'm like, yeah, so what else is new? You know, I knew, but I couldn't find a place to go get help, so to speak. And so what happened was I was standing in front of the judge, and he was sentencing me. And somehow or another, I mean, I'll just say this, somehow or another, I ended up doing 2 second offenses. Don't ask me why. Don't ask. The first one fell off and all this stuff, but I was ready, and I somehow the judge saw the contrition in my face, and it was in my heart. I was just like, oh, I got to do something. This is not working. And I basically talked to, wasn't my brother's sponsor, but a guy named Chuck Ramsey. Chuck passed away a couple of years ago, and he got me into a treatment facility called Grandview Foundation in Pasadena, California. And I walked up the steps of that place on January 10th, 1989. And I didn't know what I was walking toward, but I knew I was walking away from something. That was perceptible. It really was. I was walking away from something. And you know, the unmanageability of my life was so clear to me. And I am so grateful for that, because to me, this whole program is all about the first step. You know, whether or not these steps, it's the first 3, but you know, if I can't admit my powerlessness over drugs and alcohol and the unmanageability of my life as I've been living it, I'll start taking the power back. I just will, you know. And I've seen so many of my friends do it, and I've seen so many of my friends go out there, and you know, here I am tonight dressed in black. And I mean, I was taught when I came in here, it's like, you better get a black suit because you're going to go to a lot of funerals. And if you've been around for a while, you know, I've been to a lot of funerals. You know, some of my friends have sat there and that know me, that are regular folks. They just, you know, some of my colleagues where I used to work, they knew me really well. They knew that I was very involved in Alcoholics Anonymous, and they're just going, you guys deal with death all the time. And I go, yes, we do. We do. It's just, you know, because this disease is just, like I was talking to a lady today, the lady that was the money lady at the Harley dealer. And I ride motorcycles in a sober club. Okay. Have my hat on, my baseball hat. She saw the circle and the triangle. She goes, I got 18 months. So we started having a great chat about it, you know. Met another sober guy that was down there. I just love you, God. And you know, the thing of it was, I was talking to her about how my experience with this disease, I hate this disease with a passion, because what it does is it takes anything and everything that matters to me and to you in this life, and it stomps on it. Absolutely stomps on it. And then when it's done stomping on it, it stomps on you. And that's where I saw where I was headed. I knew that if I did not do this, take this program, take these steps into my life, I was going to die. There's no question in my mind. And it's still with me to this day. I don't care if I have 31 years, coming up on 32, whatever. That's a lot of yesterdays. Not knocking it, don't get me wrong. But I will say that, you know, it's all about today. And that's what they told me when I came in. They said, look, can you stay sober one day at a time? I go, yeah, I think I can do that. Even though it's just, I don't know about you guys, but when the idea of not drinking was just like, I don't know, I can't do that. I don't see how I can, you know. But, you know, rendered desperate enough to be in a place where it's like, well, it's either do this or die. Let's give it a whirl, you know. And what I saw when I was in Grandview for the second week that I was there, I saw hope. I saw hope that this thing could actually work, that I saw that there is a power greater than any human power. And this power does talk to you. It talks about that when we read page 164, you know, it talks about how we realize we know, our book is meant to be suggestive only. We realize we know only a little. God will constantly disclose more to you and to us. Constantly disclose more to you and to us. I don't know about you guys, but that resonated with me then, and it does now. because this power does talk to me. And this power talks to all of his, well, kids. I mean, after all, if you believe in the Lord's Prayer, it sets up the relationship, doesn't it? Our Father. That means we're his children, which art in heaven. You know, I don't know, man. There's something going on here. What I saw, irrefutably, I was thinking about this when I was on my motorcycle today. I'm going, how can I explain? I wish I could explain adequately that this power that I found in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous is not a theory. It's not the God of the Bible that I was raised with as a Catholic boy, where it's like, you know, he's basically in this position where it's like he's got this note card and he's been taking notes about every time I screw up. And you know what? Oh my God, he's got a laundry list of all the things, and he's got other souls to save. By God, I'm beyond redemption. You know, but if that was true, then how come I'm here? How come any one of us is here? Especially, I don't know about you, but I got a mind that says, you're the worst human being that ever lived. You know, I don't know if it, I mean, that seems to be a common thread with a lot of folks. They just think, I've just been too bad. I'm just a bad person. Well, if you believe in the hellfire and damnation and all that stuff, then why am I here then? And how come there's, you know, there's a force for good in this planet, and there's something going on here, because everybody here that's sober and everybody out there that you guys are doing Zoom and you're clean and sober, and it's like, it talks about that in the 12 and 12 about how any success I may be having is far more that of God than my own. I mean, this is the mercy and grace of a very loving God that came into my life, and I can't deny it, and it's true and it's real. It's not just some theoretic book God that is just not really there. You know, no, he actually talks to me all the time, and he's been talking to people for centuries, and they've called it the still small voice. I don't know if anybody heard that, but because it's a different voice. What I found is that the voice that goes on between my ears up here in my brain, I don't know about yours, but does yours make a lot of racket? Like it's really loud? You know, does your mind find fault with everything? You know, every day I wake up in the morning, like Tom, my friend Tom M says, man, I wake up in the morning with untreated alcoholism, and some mornings I wake up and it's just like, I'll just start having negative thoughts, and I haven't even been up for 5 minutes. I'm just like, wow. But I can treat these things, you know, I can treat these things with print and talking to another alcoholic, and I asked God to direct my thinking. I learned all this stuff a long time ago. That it says, you know, we read chapter 3 tonight, but chapter 5 says, rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. And it says in the 12 and 12 that these steps are a group of principles, and they're spiritual in their nature. And if I practice them as a way of life, it can expel the obsession to drink and enable me, the sufferer, to become happily and usefully whole. You know, what I've learned over the years since I've been doing this is it's all about the print. You know, it's all about what is in the book, what are in the books that tell me how. It outlines a method for living, and it introduces me to a power. So what I get from the big book and the 12 and 12, I get a method and I get a power. A method and a power. And I mean, it can be something just so simple as, you know, just waking up in the morning and doing 1, 2, and 3. I'm powerless over alcohol. My life's unmanageable. I admit that. And I also accept it. We read chapter 3. I admit to my innermost self that I am an alcoholic. This is part of who and what I am, and it's not pretty. Who the hell wants to admit that? You know, it's like, you know, hey, Billy, what do you want to do when you grow up, Billy? In your 3rd grade, Billy goes, I want to be a drunk. You know, I don't think so. At least that wasn't on my list of things. But that's what I became. And who cares that talks about that in the 12 and 12? Who cares to admit that? Nobody, man. And rightly so. But if I don't really look at what I'm up against, this thing's going to take me out. You know, the tone of both of these books is basically, you know, when it talks about that in We Agnostics, I love that, how it says, to be doomed to be on page 44, to be doomed to an alcoholic death or to live on a spiritual basis are not always easy alternatives to face. The guys, the men and women that wrote this book really know their audience. It's like, well, so it's like, hey, find God or die. Can I get back to you on that? Most people go, really? Oh my God, I'm not about that. But for us, it's like, do you remember that movie Blazing Saddles? Right? Remember Gene Wilder when he has that bottle of whiskey? And what's the Cleavon Little, wasn't his name? The black sheriff guy. Anyway, right? Okay, so he's telling him, he watches him, he's in Gene Wilder's in this cell. He gets this bottle of whiskey and just drinks like 2/3 of a fifth. And he says, man, if a man drank like that, a man was going to die. And then Gene Wilder looks at him and goes, when? I mean, I get that. I don't know about anybody else. It's like, well, you might die. It's like, when? Or, what about being like, you don't die and you're just stuck? Oh my God. I mean, I know that doesn't happen to regular drinkers. There might be a problem here, That's where it just became abundantly clear to me. It's like, I'm an alcoholic, and I had seen that if nothing else, that you guys were a power greater than me. If I have a problem with God, or I have a problem with even practicing spiritual principles, the G word, I get it. But this is a power greater than me. It talks about in the second step that had solved their problem forget just by practicing, abstinence. The 12 steps don't work if you're loaded. Sorry. And I'm not trying to be a jerk. They really don't. I mean, you have to be sober for them to work. And, and if I basically take these steps into my life and practice them one day at a time to the best of my ability, it expels the obsession to drink. In other words, it's gone. That's pretty cool stuff. And what I did when I came in is my sponsor told me a few things. One of the things he said, look, what you have to do for success in this program is you don't drink and you don't use no matter what, period. It's not negotiable. You do not get loaded. You don't get loaded between meetings. You don't drink or use no matter what. You make your sobriety the most important thing in your life. You practice these principles, work with the sponsor, go to a meeting, do what we do. This is pretty simple, man. I mean, it's a simple program for very complex and complicated people that may tend, I don't know about you, to overthink things just a touch. I do on occasion. And, I just believed him and I quit fighting. I just said, so I make this the most important thing in my life. Okay, check. Go to meetings, work with my sponsor. I've had one sponsor, Richard, and he's been my sponsor since I came in. He's 80 years old now, and I've known him. He's 39 years sober. I've known him 38 of those 39 years. I've known him a long time, and I just did what they told me to do. And I guess what I'm really fortunate, I don't even know if I'm really fortunate, maybe it was just that I'm paying attention, for goodness sake. I'm clear on the first step. I was clear on the first step when I came in. It's like, do what these people do. I see what's waiting for me out there. I checked my track record. My life was doing one of these things, and it's going to get worse. It's never better. And I just went, I'm just going to do what they tell me to do. I'm not going to drink between meetings. I'm just going to practice these principles. So, one of my friends, he's going through it right now, because I don't know about you, but does your mind ever attack you? Mine does, and my friend is really up against it right now. He's a little over a year sober, and, his mind's telling him a bunch of untruths that all of his peers don't like him. They don't want anything to do with him. And he needs to move out of the treatment, the sober living home he's in. And he needs to find somewhere else to live. But he has to live with somebody because he can't live by himself right? And it's just like, holy cow, you know, and it's like being stark raving sober, right? I mean, that's scary stuff. I know what that feels like because I don't know about you, but if you ever had one of those manic moments between your ears and your mind tells you, like I had those moments with some of the winners, they go, yeah, you're feeling this way, right? That sense of impending doom, but things all terrible, you know, and all that. And they said, and you think it's gonna be like this for the rest of your life? And I went, of course. They go, no, man, it's gonna change. It's not gonna be like this for the rest of your life. It might be like this now, but if you took a drink, you'd still have the same problem between your ears, but you just made it 100 times worse by getting loaded. And did that solve anything? No. And it just went, and you know, I just believed them. I just went, so this is going to pass. This too shall pass. Like, yeah, it will. Don't drink, right? Nope, don't drink. You're going to be okay, kid. It's going to be all right. Just keep coming back. Keep coming back. And I just did what they told me to do. You know, and actually this is the easier, softer way. Staying, you know, just doing this thing one day at a time. And that's what's so cool about this program is I don't have to do this for the rest of my life. I just have to do it for the day I'm in, which is right now. Talking to you, here I am. It's Friday night, you know, and November the 6th, and we're together and we're talking about trying to just be better people today. You know, and all I have is today. I don't have tomorrow. I don't have tomorrow. Yesterday is gone. It's like a bullet that got fired, you know. So I really have to focus on where my feet are. They're right in front of me. And all I got to do is just what's in front of me, man, just for today. You know, because I get, man, there's been a lot of stuff this year. Let's face it. This hasn't been exactly the most sparkly year I've ever had. But you know what? It's like what I have to do, what I've been doing, what's been working for me is how, if I really believe that there is a power that wants nothing for good but good for me, and if I really take these spiritual principles and practice them really, you know, diligently, then fear is really not a part of the picture. It comes, I'm not going to lie, man, I am just as human as anybody else, but, you know, fear is just, you know, we see what's going on with fear just with regular folks out there in the world today. I don't know about you, but my mind can really run with that stuff. And it just, you know, if I believe that this power really has got, you got me, right? You know, then I have really nothing to fear. I just don't. So some of my friends that have been practicing these principles, we've been meeting on Zoom and, you know, sitting down with the print. And one of my friends that's down in Scottsdale was talking about how his program's never been better and his conscious contact with his creator has never been stronger. You know, and here's a kid that's going to medical school, a sober kid, young man, all sleeved up and everything, and he's going to medical school on a free ride. How cool is that, man? You know, that's one of the cool things about this program is you can do anything you want in this program as a sober man or woman. That's what my sponsor told me a long time ago. He said, as a sober man, sky's the limit, son. Anything you want, whatever you want to do, it can be yours. So I always tell the young men and women are old, doesn't matter. Some of my friends came in at 65. And I say, whatever you want to do, man, it's possible because of this program of recovery. I mean, after all, why would I put a limit on something, on practicing spiritual principles, which are limitless? You know, again, I mean, I've just got to like take a hard look at what I'm up against, this disease that can be, what's the word for it? Put in abeyance, if you will, or, you know, based on my spiritual condition, this disease, it just kind of goes down if I just take these principles and practice them. I ask God to direct my thinking in the morning, not Greg. I want to be God directed, not Greg directed, because Greg directed doesn't work. It doesn't work good at all. You know, I come up with some real great ideas, man. And you know, I read about these things, and I can see this power in everything I do, man. I mean, this year, for example, has been pretty trippy. Through prayer and stuff, I've been able to, I'll give you one example this year. I've got a little over 8 months not smoking cigarettes. And that's a big deal. I know. Yeah. So yeah, I quit, Philip. Right? Yeah. So no. It has nothing to do with me. What it has to do with is a lot of prayer. Honest to God, because I was telling God, I'm going, I know I'm doing your will, but there's this little smoking thing that I know is probably not exactly what you'd want me to be doing. So I said, okay. Then I saw this doctor in February, and she goes, let me listen to your breathing. Oh, your breathing's awful. I think you have COPD. And I'm just like, wow, that's a real motivator. Hey, right? I mean, how do I practice principles out of virtue or circumstance? Circumstance, folks. I don't know about you, but that was a real motivator. So I've been thinking about it for a long time. It's time to get into action. And I said, God, I really need your help with this. And you're God, and you can do anything you want. I mean, so I talked to my creator, man. I talked to him like I'm talking to you right now. I said, I would really appreciate it if we didn't go through any pain. What do you think? I said, I know this sounds ridiculous, but because I figure, okay, pain is the touchstone of all spiritual growth. And, cigarettes, I mean, junkies have told me, oh, it's worse than quitting heroin. I'm just like, oh, this is going to be fun. So I just went, could you just, if I didn't go through pain, I would kind of dig that. What do you think? I'm in if you're in. And you know what? It's been pretty pain-free. Really, I'm just like, it just blows my mind. Then, they're telling me all this different stuff health-wise. Oh, we think you're pre-diabetic. Oh, that's great. Hey, let's check you for lung cancer. Oh boy. So all these different things have happened this year. We think you've got occlusion in your heart. I'm just like, do you want me around? What's up? And I mean, it's okay. Look, either way, I'm good. Like I've got a choice. Like this is negotiable, and I've dodged every one of those bullets. I had a breathing test that came back normal. Greg and normal are just two different, like, there ain't nothing normal about me. So, man, God does smoking. God does smoking cessation. He does new Harley Davidson. I mean, he does all kinds of different things if I let this thing happen in my life and just try to align my will with that of my creator rather than aligning my will with myself. It works every time. It's 100%. It talks about how in the book that occasional hunch or inspiration gradually becomes a working part of the mind, right? And I've found that to be true. I found that practicing all these principles in these books are absolutely true. They work, but I have to put them into action. I can't sit there and just, kind of like, okay, so let's see what happens. I mean, with my health, which is better than it's been in, oh my God, over 20 years. I also lost almost 50 pounds. It has been easy. Where does that come from? I can't make this stuff up. I really can't. Maybe it's just because I'm old and it's time. I don't know. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's good. And I just go, I'm not doing this wholly on my own. It's kind of like this power. This power is like a two-way street deal. Okay? Like, I have to do my part. Okay, you want to quit smoking and you don't want to go through any pain. Okay, because I'm God and I can do anything. Watch. So, but I've got to do my part. Like, okay, don't smoke and take what I've given you as a gift and don't mess it up, Greg. Don't mess this up. And it's like, okay. And I could treat it just like I did with my drinking. Don't mess this up. I got given a gift, man. I should be dead. I don't know about you, but I should be dead. And some of my friends in the room should not be here. But for some reason we are. And I don't know why, and it really doesn't matter. What matters is I'm here, and I got a choice today. My only choice is when I came in here was like, my only choice was to drink. Haven't you ever sat there, I don't know about you, but back in the day, man, I'd sit there and just go, I'm not going to drink today. I'm going to be productive, by God. There's some stuff to be done. I've got chores to do. I've got studying to do, whatever it was. I just this litany of things I would do. And by about 11 o'clock, I could hear that tip in that bottle of whiskey. God damn it, here I go again. And I don't do that today. And it is my will. That's third step stuff. There's no question. I am exerting my will, taking these principles into my life and applying them. But I get this mercy and grace from this power. And grace is unmerited favor. But by the mercy and grace of a very loving power, whatever you want to call it, man, it's a force for good, and it cares about me, and it wants me to be happy. I mean, Lord knows the book talks about it at the end of the 12th step. For example, the 12th step, there's a theme to the 12th step. I don't know if any of you guys know that, but the joy of living is the theme of the 12th step. It's in the 12, and 12 is in the first sentence, and it's at the end of the book. And it talks about, there's a couple of paragraphs right at the end of the book on page 124, where it talks about being useful and profoundly happy. That's still just, I love that. Profoundly happy. Anybody out there profoundly miserable back in the day? Dude, bad, right? So to be profoundly happy and understand the joy of living, and to even like, sit there and realize the manifestation of the third step promises, of the promises, but the 9th and 10th step, our whole outlook and attitude upon life will change. You think that's kind of a ballsy statement? Jeez, huh? But it's, are they making this stuff up? No, it's true. That's the thing about it. And what I found more than anything else is I thought to find union with my Creator, I was just talking with my new friend about this, that I had to find union with my Creator through LSD or lots of whiskey. But I came to find out that the 12 steps give me that. And what I find is this union with this Creator, trying to do His will and getting better and better at my relationship with this power through the application of principles, okay, is the buzz that I was looking for all along. And it is a buzz. It's a cool buzz. And I mean, I just wouldn't have this any other way. I am so absolutely thrilled to be a part of this, meeting that starts back up tonight. We get to see people, and hopefully everything's cool. I mean, this very same format's working great on Saturday night. There's no reason it shouldn't work just fine here. And we just keep rolling it one day at a time. Thanks for letting me share.
Scratch that. Hold on a minute. Oh, I'm not used to doing this. And I'm cute, Greg. Thank you.